This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. So, Walrus Audio bring out this new pedal. This is my first time checking it out. An updated version of something. But I tend to like most of what Walrus Audio do, so I said yes. A little bit of a hey. And I have the blackout version here, the Monumental. And this is a stereo tremolo pedal. So why would you want a tremolo pedal? Updated switches by the look of things. So I didn't realise this until I kind of just started looking this up and kind of looking at what was the first tremolo pedal. It actually turns out that the tremolo pedal was the first standalone effects pedal ever, right? And just after World War II, Harry Diamond put together his Tremolo 800, which was essentially a little electronic motor with a water-based component in it that would slosh around, and that would create the tremolo effect, essentially. About a decade later, in the 50s, Leo Fender would start putting these into his amps, although, you know, a different design, kind of based on bias, as far as I'm aware. But, yeah, the first effect was the tremolo. So Walrus Audio asked me would I check out the Monumental Harmonic Stereo Tremolo, which is their, you know, newest take on this. Since they were kind enough to sponsor the video, I said yes. And, yeah, we've got various shapes. So tremolo is a fairly simple thing to understand. It's essentially affecting the volume of the signal, right? And the shape kind of determines how it's modulated. So a sine wave is like the most consistent, and then we've got other options like a square wave, which obviously is going to have a quick on and off. Sawtooths, which are going to go in various directions, and there's like random as well on here, and a kind of circle. So a bunch of things to change. The rate is like how quickly it changes, so you can have a really slow tremolo for a pretty subtle, that's my preferred kind of tremolo effects, or fast for less subtle. Depth, of course, is going to control how much this rate, you know, how much tremolo there is, and subtle, you want less depth, less subtle, you want more. And then pan is going to obviously send it from left to right as well. This is a stereo pedal after all. And then we can switch here between standard and harmonic trem. Now I'm less sure about what that's going to do. I think harmonic trem is somewhat closer to like modulation style, but let's have a listen. So I have my Line 6HX Stomp here, just plugged in with the Monumental just after it. Without the Monumental, this is what it sounds like. And we got tap bass stuff, right? So that's kind of, for me, about where I like to set trems. So pretty subtle. And you can hear, obviously, the effect is more pronounced as you turn up the depth. And obviously, again, as the amplitude is being affected, we can use the volume to sort of compensate for the perceived sort of drop in volume. And this is probably going to be... So this is like the square. So these are sawtooth, I think, but you can see because of the shape of this one, maybe you can't actually see it, but it's essentially the tremolo thing is going to ramp up. So it sort of sounds like you've got lots of little fade in. This one kind of ramps out and in, and then this one's kind of random. So I'm going to jump back to the sine waves. Obviously those things can make a big difference to your tone there in terms of what the tremolo sounds like. We've got a pan effect here. Really useful to not just have it, you know, either it's stereo or not, because you can sort of dial in the amount of stereo-ness you want, because all the way up you might find a little bit kind of like... I feel like Rhodes type sounds have a really nice stereo-ness to them. So let's try and listen to the difference between standard and harmonic. Kind of blurs things a bit, like there's a bit less, it's less clean, it's a more swell to it, I guess. And so that, and switch between them, so you can have nice slow, another blue, and then the preset that I was just on is kind of my live set. I don't know, I think it can be a really, really beautiful thing to add to a clean tone, and it doesn't need to necessarily be extreme